Lucifer, the predestined fall. In the primordial times, before the world was created, heaven was not an absolute place of silence. Holding the highest position among the angels, Lucifer was the brightest jewel in God's creation, the bearer of light, the most beautiful among the angels, crafted by God as a symbol of perfection. But few knew that from the very source of light, darkness could creep in. The seed of the fall. A peculiar theory arises. What if Lucifer did not fall by his own will but was corrupted by an unfamiliar idea, an awareness that even he did not recognize? Perhaps Lucifer had come into contact with some kind of forbidden knowledge, or an entity beyond heaven, something that even God knew was dangerous but did not prevent. This mirrors the story of Adam and Eve. It is possible that Lucifer was not the first to question God's authority. Perhaps lower-ranking angels had already begun contemplating the immutability of heaven. Some whispered about freedom, about existing not merely to serve but to understand, to choose. In these secret exchanges, Lucifer, with his superior intellect, listened. And the most dangerous thing was not rebellion itself, but the idea of rebellion. What if there was a first angel, a pioneer who planted this thought into Lucifer's mind? A being who ignited the spark yet was erased from history. A forgotten angel who left behind an idea but was wiped from all memory. Did God know in advance? If God is omniscient, then it is impossible that he did not foresee what was happening. Yet, instead of stopping it, he allowed it to unfold. Why? Perhaps God not only foresaw Lucifer's fall but even willed it to happen. Not because he desired war, but because he wanted free will to reveal its true nature. If obedience were absolute, would servitude hold any true value? Once Lucifer and his followers dared to rise up, God could confirm that the obedience of the remaining angels was genuine. Perhaps Lucifer was merely a piece in a grander scheme. When he rebelled, he was not alone. 1/3 of the angels in heaven followed him. This suggests that underlying discontent may have already existed among the heavenly hosts, and God used Lucifer as a means to purify heaven, keeping only those who were absolutely loyal. Or perhaps God sought to prove a principle about free will, that though he could have prevented Lucifer's fall, doing so would have stripped heaven of free will altogether. To maintain balance in the universe, God allowed the angels to choose, to follow him or to follow Lucifer. This also foreshadows the trials that humanity would later face, the choice between good and evil. And thus, rebellion became part of the grand design, a trial by fire to prove true loyalty. The fated war. Once Lucifer embraced the idea of free will and self-determination, there was no turning back. The moment he questioned, he shattered the immutability of heaven. What followed was inevitable. Lucifer gathered like-minded angels, and a celestial civil war erupted. The battle for heaven took place, with Archangel Michael leading the heavenly forces to defeat Lucifer. He was cast down into hell, becoming Satan. Yet, there is an unsettling detail: this war was not truly his defeat, it was merely the completion of a phase. Lucifer did not die. He was not erased. He was merely transformed into something else. As if the very structure of heaven itself acknowledged that an opposing force must exist. God did not annihilate Lucifer because he needed him for his grand design. Revelation, the end or the beginning. In the book of Revelation, the final battle between good and evil is inevitable. But if everything was foreseen, was it truly a battle? Or was it simply the final loop in God's plan? What if, even when Satan is defeated, the cycle continues in another form? What if the existence of evil was never a mistake but an essential part of the order itself? And if that is the case, then perhaps Lucifer never truly failed, he was merely fulfilling his role. This perspective could reshape the way we view Lucifer's fall. Perhaps he was not just a rebel, but an irreplaceable cog in God's grand machinery. And God? He may have known all along and allowed everything to unfold according to plan. Perhaps, from the very moment he created Lucifer, God knew he would fall. Perhaps even Satan's existence is part of God's divine scheme, to grant both angels and humanity a true choice between good and evil. So, was Lucifer a traitor, a rebel warrior, or merely a victim of fate? And, if God truly knew everything beforehand, is it fair to blame Lucifer for something he never truly had control over?